All right. Researching for your argument today. So a little bit about finding reliable sources for a few minutes. Okay, because you are so on the World Wide Web, information, the internet, right? You're good to go, huh? It's crazy. It's crazy how much information is out there that's completely unreliable, that's completely fake. So you could possibly come across are right? What's one thing right off the bat that looks a little fishy that you can see? Yeah, when was this probably published? Yeah, probably back in like the 90s. It's probably a really old website. So right off the bat, it looks a little suspicious, but we're going to look around it a little bit and see. One of the things that you can look for as far as reliability is whether or not the links work and stuff like that. So let's click on some of these links and see what we can actually find. Okay, so some of these links are actually working. So what is dihydrogen monoxide? DHMO is a colorless and odorless chemical compound, also referred to by some as dihydrogen monoxide. Blah, 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 blah. Its basis is the highly reactive hydroxyl radical. Okay, that's all interesting. So what are some of the dangers associated with DHMO? Let's check that out. Okay. Each year, DHMO is a known causative component in many thousands of deaths, and it is a major contributor to millions upon millions of dollars in damage to property and the environment. Okay, so this isn't a great chemical. Death due to accidental inhalation, prolonged exposure causes tissue damage. Excessive ingestion produces a number of unpleasant, though not typically life-threatening side effects. It's a major component of acid rain. In its gaseous form, it can cause severe burns. It contributes to soil erosion. Okay, so there's a lot of really bad stuff. So as I'm reading through this, it seems legitimate. It seems like there's a lot of crazy information about it. But then over here, can it improve my marriage? What? Okay, let's check that out. That's weird. So can using DHMO improve my marriage? This is a popular myth, but one which is also actually supported by scientific facts. DHMO plays an instrumental role in the centers of the brain with feelings of emotional attachment and love. Okay, it's a chemical, but it's also an essential chemical. Married couples have found that regular ingestion of it can improve their marriage-related activities. Couples that never ingest it often find their marriage suffers as well. Interesting. Okay, so as well by the here, right? So is it a reliable source or not? So let's think about it for a minute. Dihydrogen monoxide. Water. Is it a major component of acid rain? If you inhale it, does it kill you? Does it cause soil erosion? Yeah. People who drink it are happier than people who don't drink it. Right? Okay, so somebody put hours and days of time into creating a spoof website. Okay, people do this. People do this for fun or for money or whatever. They take the time to do stuff like this, okay? You can even send them money. So if you want to support the cause, visit the dhmo.org store. Okay? I kind of really want to, but I kind of don't want my credit card number stolen. So if you guys actually try this and you actually get something, please tell me, because I would love to have some DHMO merch. But I'm not brave enough to give them my financial information. So if anybody wants to risk it, let me know, because it'll be hilarious. But so this kind of stuff is all over the place. All right, there's this kind of stuff all over the place. Another link that is now broken, it wouldn't work once I tried to pull it up. It was a hospital website, and it looked really legitimate, like modern and everything, but on their banner it was like first male pregnancy and da-da-da, and like all of this stuff. So if you pay attention, you can see that it's fake. And also on that website, all the links were broken. But on this one, these work. Like, they actually have information in all of these places. They actually have an editorial, and like all of these things are just crazy, right? So people take time and energy to put crap out there, and this is actually real information. It's all accurate, isn't it? Okay, but it's manipulating it to make it seem different than it actually is. So this is the kind of thing you have to keep your eyes open for as you're acquiring information online. And then there's another health benefit of eating beef, of eating red meat. Okay, it talks about, and again, all of these are legitimate articles. People have put in research. Beef heart health. As you get older, you'll learn that red meat has higher levels of cholesterol is actually quite unhealthy for you. Meat can be harmful, but this article is how it's good for your heart. Okay, again, we have very accurate seeming information. Now, when we look at this, though, if we're paying attention, then we can scroll down and see funded, this says funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Okay, so who is publishing this information? People who sell meat. So again, we can see, this isn't actually a reliable source because these people are very biased. They want my money. That's why they're telling me how good red meat is for me. Okay? So there are a few different things to keep your eyes open for when you're out there on the World Wide Web. So to help us to know, well, what is trustworthy? How do we figure out what's trustworthy? I want you guys to come and grab one of these handouts right here. The ABCs of evaluating websites. So go ahead and come stand up, walk. Go get a handout. This will also be posted online, but this is kind of nice to have a hard copy as well. Say hi to the folks at home as you pass by. Okay, so the ABCs of evaluating websites. This is really, really useful to help you avoid getting scammed, right, by unreliable information. So looking at the authority of the site, whether or not the site has bias, what is the currency of the site, is it current or not, and also what is the content that's available. So a little more detail about authority. So you want to look at who created the site. Again, is it a company? Is it a .com, which stands for commercial, or is it coming from a .edu or a .gov? .edu and .gov should be more reliable, but so should, that was a .org website. So apparently anybody can buy any kind of a domain. But usually .edu and .gov domains should be more reliable than like .coms. But again, you'll want to double check, you want to verify. So who created this site? Is it a government source? Is it an educational source? Is it from a university? Is it from a database? Okay, make sure you're paying attention to where the information is coming from, and then it's not just some mommy blogger or a dude in his mom's basement, right? Make sure that the information is reliable. Who is sponsoring it? Is it somebody trying to make money off of us, or is it a different organization that's actually interested in spreading reliable information? And again, what type of website is it? I kind of already went over that. And then check on the bias. Is the information balanced? Does it reflect both sides of the issue, or is it biased toward one side? Okay, is it a news source that's anti-Trump or pro-Trump, or is it a news source that's just talking about the information that's available? Okay, pay attention to that stuff. Does it use loaded words? Loaded words are words that are meant to trigger us into an emotional response. So are they saying like intense? Is their language intense and trying to trigger us in some way, or is it just straightforward, fact-based? Do they support their claims with facts? And again, taking a look at when the site was published, is it current? Sometimes this matters more than others. For example, if your topic that you choose is going to be based on like technology or social media or something like that, you'll want it to be really, really current information, because TikTok didn't exist a year ago. So you want to make sure that what you are researching is very, very viable for the time period that you need it to be in. And then content. How detailed is it? How accurate is it? Does it have a bibliography? What's a bibliography? Do you guys know? So sometimes students get it mixed up with biography. A biography is when you write about somebody's life, right? But a bibliography is a list of sources. Do they have links to what they are citing on their website? Or when you click on the link, is it broken or is it non-existent? Okay. So do they have references to the sources that they are citing and that they are using? And then also, if it has incorrect grammar and punctuation, if there are a lot of issues there, that's a huge red flag. You want to avoid that kind of stuff. That's likely spam. And then also, is it a level that's appropriate for you? Can you understand it? You want to argue about cloning and stuff like that. That's really interesting. However, you want to avoid resources that are way too difficult for you to understand. There's a lot out there on a high school level that you can find that'll be easier for you to access and understand, and also be reliable information. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay? So any questions on finding reliable sources? Figured it out? All right. Choose your argument topics. So here's and talk about that, and I'm going to stop this.